Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. I am your host, Josh Davis, also known as Crash, and I am joined tonight by the one and only Miss Deb Lutz, also known as Deluxe. Deb, how are you doing tonight? This first NBA slate that we've covered together in 2023.
Yes, I'm doing great. Excited to be back at it in 2023, and hopefully it's a good year for us. DFS. We ended the 2022 year really well, you and I. I mean,
yeah.
What do we need him for? I mean,
yeah, but he'll find his way back.
absolutely.
It is hard
we
when
do need him. So
yeah, we do. We definitely do, and it's hard when you're not consistently looking at it every day.
Totally.
It's just a rhythm thing, really. So let's go ahead and get into the slates. We've got 10 games on the main slate. I know your sons, did they already play? Is that game over?
They did. The game's probably over. I haven't even had a chance to check. So,
okay. Yeah. So that game was at 3 p.m. Eastern. So the first game that I'm going to look at, and we just got some news related to this game too. So it's 7 p.m. Eastern, the Chicago Bulls and the Cleveland Cavaliers. We found out that both Darius Garland and Evan Mobley are out for Cleveland. Yeah. So that's pretty big. And then for the Bulls, Javonte Green is out, and Alex Caruso and Derek Jones will play. So we got that news just like 2 minutes ago.
We don't have the starters yet, so I don't know if Dosumo's starting or Caruso, but yeah.
Yeah, it looks like they just confirmed the lineup for the Cavs, but they don't have one for the Bulls. So the plays that I like in this game, I was going to have Dosunmu as one of the plays that I like, but with Caruso playing, I'm not going to go to him. But I do like Karis LeVert with Garland out. He's 4,800 on DraftKings, $18 on Yahoo. He's 6,200 on Fanduel, so I don't feel like he's a must play over there. But on DraftKings and Yahoo, I definitely do. He's been playing pretty well with Garland out, and the Bulls have allowed the most fantasy points, the 10th most to shooting guards. The other play I was looking at was Kevin Love. That's where they've allowed the most to power forwards. He's 4,700 on DraftKings, 5,500 on FanDuel, and $14 on Yahoo. So with Mobley out, I do like Kevin Love as well. So go ahead.
No, I totally agree. That's who I'm eyeing is LeVert and Love. I mean, Mitchell played really poorly in his last game against these guys just recently, just last week. So I guess the question is he, up to, kind of get a payback game there. So,
yeah, I mean, the other thing is too, with Caruso back, Caruso's a pretty good defender. And of course, Dosunmu is too. So I would think that they're going to handle Mitchell pretty well,
Yeah. I agree. That's a good point. So I'm with you on those two.
Okay.
Nobody on the Chicago side, though. Too low scoring.
I don't really like anyone on the Chicago side. Let's just keep this moving here. We've got the Toronto Raptors and the Indiana Pacers. For the Raptors, Van Vliet and Precious Achiuwa are questionable. That's the latest I show. I don't have an update on that. Actually, it looks like maybe Van Vliet's going to play. Let me see.
Yeah, that's what I have been playing.
Okay. So he will play. I was looking at Gary Trent. I'm probably not going to be playing him now. He's been playing pretty well with Van Vliet out of the lineup. And honestly, besides maybe Buddy Hield, who's been pretty good against small forwards, I don't really think there's anybody in this game now that I'm going to be playing. I was looking at Trent and maybe Hield, but on a 10-game slate with Van Vliet playing, I'm probably not going to be getting anyone in this game now.
Yeah, I'm not too high on anyone. I am, Siakam's not a bad play. Again, it's a high scoring game, 233 over under. So Siakam's not a bad play, and you can't always go wrong with Halliburton either. But not my favorite plays at those those high price points.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right, we'll go ahead and move on. We've got the New Orleans Pelicans at the Philadelphia 76ers. Brandon Ingram, Larry Nance Jr., and E.J. Liddell are out for the Pelicans. Do we have an update yet on Embiid? Is he going to play? It looks like he's a game-time decision.
Game-time decision. But so if anyone in the chat has it, please put it in there because that's a big decision. He's, anytime you get a late kind of a late decision, chances are they trend towards not playing. But I'd really like to know this one because I'm going in on Harden if Embiid does not play.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Harden would be one of my favorite plays on the slate if Embiid is out. I like on the other side, though, I do like Zion Williamson, especially without Embiid in there to protect the paint. Philadelphia is a little less than average against power forwards, and he's just been playing really well with Ingram out and everything. So I do like Zion Williamson on the Pelicans side. What about the other guys for Philly? Do you like any of Tyrese Maxey, DeAnthony Melton, Tobias Harris, any of those other guys, or are you just looking at Harden?
The only thing I wanted to get a sense for Maxey if he was going to be starting. If he's not starting, I'm not interested. But if he's starting and he's going to get his full allotment of minutes, I kind of like him. Not interested in the other guys. It's really, for me, it's just Harden. And I agree with you with Zion. I like him a lot in this game. And I like McCollum, too.
Okay. Yeah. It looks like, well, their projected starting lineup right now has Melton, Harden, Harris, Tucker, and Embiid. But if Embiid sits, obviously that's going to change. So we're really not going to know until we get that news. But if he's in the starting lineup, you're saying that you would play Maxey.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Next game, we have the Los Angeles Lakers and the Charlotte Hornets. LeBron will play. He's probable. We know that whole game that they play. So not worried about that. Lonnie Walker, I believe he's out. I think I saw that.
He's out.
So their projected starting lineup right now is Schroeder, Beverly, Reeves, LeBron, and Thomas Bryant. So I don't really like anyone on the Lakers besides LeBron. They have not really played that well outside of LeBron without Anthony Davis. So I just don't really like the Lakers. I mean, you do have Thomas Bryant going up against the Hornets, who we've attacked center position a lot with Charlotte. But I just think, with Nurkic questionable, Eubanks is probably going to be my center as a value play. So I'm probably not going to go to Thomas Bryant. I do like LaMelo Ball on the other side. Lakers have allowed the second most fantasy points to point guards, and he had 51 against the Lakers on December 23rd. And then I also like PJ Washington. He had 45 Draftkings points against the Lakers on that December 23rd game. And so those would be the two plays I like on the Hornets, and then LeBron on the Lakers. Anyone else from this game that you like, or would that be about it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really going to target this game. It's super high scoring. And, both teams play at a fast pace, not the best defense, particularly on the Charlotte side of things. I do like a lot of guys. I agree with you on LeBron. He's going to be in almost all of my lineups. Bryant, possibly. I agree with you. I mean, we always target centers against Charlotte. I want to take a look, though, at his pricing has come up a bit. I may take a run at either Reeves or Westbrook. Reeves got the start last time. He was horrible. He was like 1 of 13. I think he's going to regress back the other way, have a pretty decent game against Charlotte, and he's pretty cheap. And then the other guy I want to take a look at is Westbrook. So I will have a fair amount. I'm going to have at least 2 Lakers, possibly 3, and then on the other side I'll probably have 1 or 2 as well. I agree with you on Ball. I also like Hayward tonight. I think Hayward could have a nice game. He's due for he's been sort of like solid, 25 fantasy points a night. He's due for a 40-point game.
Yeah, I agree. I think that could be a potentially really good call. Did I see something about Maxey not being in the lineup?
No, Coach said that he's coming off the bench. So then I said, all right, no Maxey then.
Yeah, no Maxey because Coach is in. And apparently no one knew that his name was Joe Cervati. So I saw those comments.
That's great.
The next game we have is the San Antonio Spurs at the Brooklyn Nets. Looks like for the Spurs, it's just going to be Keita Bates-Diop that's out. And then Joe Harris is playing for the Nets. So not a whole lot of injury news here. I don't really like this game that much at all. Maybe Nicholas Claxton. San Antonio's been pretty bad against centers. I could look at him a little bit. But I really think this game is going to be a fade for me.
Yeah. It's too bad too, because 236, pretty high total. Could be a blowout though. I kind of like Kyrie. If it is a blowout, I just think he's been playing pretty solidly. I think he could play really well tonight. But that's probably it. So I may not even get to him. Yeah, surprisingly, like, it's San Antonio is super hard to predict.
Right.
That all their guys are back, so I don't trust Keldon Johnson or Vassell. So I think, possibly Kyrie, but otherwise that's it.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. Next game, we have coaches Dallas Mavericks and Luka Doncic, who I think is just going to be averaging about 80 fantasy points from now on, it seems. Unbelievable what he's been doing. I mean, I haven't faded him ever since he's been on this hot streak. Like, I just feel like I have to play him, and that's kind of my strategy tonight. Do you have any inkling of fading him at all the way he's playing right now? I know he's super expensive.
No, I know he's super expensive, but no. And I mean, against Houston, I have Dallas and Houston played each other like 8 times in the past month.
It feels like it. They have played each other like 3 times in the last week.
Yeah, I feel like they're constantly playing each other, and surprisingly, Houston's been hanging in there and playing pretty well. I kind of like a couple of guys in this game. I will take a look at Luka. I mean, it means basically like he is the one pay-up guy. But I also like Wood, again, against his old team. I think he's had a couple of really good games against Houston, a couple of not so good. I'm gonna err on the side of him having a good game tonight. And on the other side, I kind of like Jabari Smith. It looks like Şengün is going to be. Let's see, do we have an update on Şengün?
I think Şengün is going to be out, and I was going to say the same thing. The 2 things that you mentioned, I like Wood, partially because Şengün's going to be out. I don't really know that they really have much else to body up with him, and then because he's going to be out, most likely, I like Jabari Smith. So we're right in the same line of thinking there.
Cool.
Last I have on Şengün is that he is questionable. So but it's a back injury, so I would lean towards him being out.
Multi-days,
those are very tricky. I like Tim Hardaway Jr. as well a little bit. 5,800 on Draftkings, 5,600 on Fanduel, $18 on Yahoo. The Rockets have allowed the 5th most fantasy points to small forwards. He had 32 Draftkings points on December 29th. So I do like him a little bit as well, just as a tournament play. But primarily Luka, Wood, and Smith for me is pretty much what you said too. So next game, I don't really have anyone that I really like at all. It's the Nuggets and the Timberwolves. I'm going to be playing Luka, so I'm not going to be getting into the Joker. And the other fringe players, role players, I just don't really feel like I need to play any of them. So this game is a fade for me 100%.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm light on this game, but I do like, Russell's just got downgraded to questionable with an illness. I think there's a good chance he's not going to play. So that could pops up. Yeah, that pops up Noel for me. And it also pops up Jamal Murray on the other side for me. So so those are the 2 guys in particular that I'm looking at.
Okay. Yeah, I could definitely see that. I didn't know that about Russell, but I could definitely see that with that being the case. We've got. I kind of want to finish this thing by around 5:25, so I'm going to just keep it.
Do it.
Yeah. The Atlanta Hawks and the Golden State Warriors, of course, everybody and their brothers out for the Warriors right now. They're just super shorthanded, so there's a lot of value here on their side. Besides the Warriors, anyone on the Hawks side that you like? I was thinking maybe Jalen Johnson, but that would probably be about it. He's been getting more minutes with Capella out, but I don't really have anyone else.
I think Okongwu is the play, actually, with Capella out.
Okongwu,
I really like Okongwu. Yeah.
I could definitely see that.
Yeah, he's been getting a lot of minutes.
Though. Yeah,
it definitely has. It definitely has. On the Atlanta side, I mean, they're showing Golden State favored here, which kind of surprised me with everyone that they have out. So it's gonna stay close. So I'm very interested in one of either Trae Young or Murray. Murray's less expensive. I'm kind of leaning towards him, but I think Golden State's defense is not what it used to be. This is a high-scoring game. I think you're going to get a lot of action from either Young or Murray. So I do like one of those guys. And
Okay.
a sneaky little play for me on Golden State's going to be minimum salary Patrick Baldwin.
Okay.
You've got Weissman, Kuminga, and Iguodala and Green out. So Kevin Looney and Draymond are like the only front court players available, basically, unless you go to someone like a Patrick Baldwin. And neither Looney nor Green ever get a ton of minutes. So
Right.
I'm eyeing Patrick Baldwin.
Okay. And what is he min price on every site, I'm guessing, or?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great value play there for sure. Jordan Poole or Klay Thompson. I mean, you kind of have to pick one if you're going to play one of the, this game. And I haven't had any success with Jordan Poole at all. It seems like whenever I play him, he's terrible, but when I don't, he just goes nuts. So
I agree.
I don't really know. I'm at a loss as to what to do. I've had a little bit more success with Klay Thompson, so that's probably where I'm leaning. With Kuminga out, I also think DiVincenzo's in play a little bit. But
his price has come way up too.
His price has come way up for sure. On a 10-game slate, you definitely don't have to go there. But I think he does have 30 to 40 fantasy point potential for sure.
Yeah.
We'll go ahead and move on then. We've got the Pistons and the Trailblazers. For the Pistons, Isaiah Livers and Killian Hayes are out. And then we've got Nasir Little and Justice Winslow out for Portland. And then the big one is Jusuf Nurkic is questionable. I don't think he's going to play. The Blazers at home, I always look at Damian Lillard. Detroit's allowed the 6th most fantasy points to point guards. It's really hard to get to him and Harden and Luka, but I think you can get to 2 of them. So if Embiid plays, I think that Lillard's a nice pivot from Harden. But if Embiid doesn't play, then I'm probably just going to play James Harden. So
yeah, that's kind of where I am.
Yeah. And
I like Lillard as well. Grant's an interesting play. Sort of a narrative play. Used to play for Detroit, so not a crazy play at all against arguably a pretty shaky defense there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they've allowed the 7th most fantasy points to power forwards and the 10th most to centers. So yeah, they've definitely been getting beat up in the front court.
Yeah.
Now they've been missing, Isaiah Stewart's been out, Marvin Bagley's been out, so they've had some injuries for sure. What about Eubanks? Do you like him if Nurkic is out, or are you going to stay away from him?
I have just a few other centers who I'm interested in, so I'm probably staying away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Well, the last game we have the Miami Heat and Los Angeles Clippers. Jimmy Butler is expected to play. And then they have a bunch of role players: Dedmon, Martin, Robinson, Vincent, questionable, and then Yurtseven's still out. The big news for the Clippers is that it looks like Kawhi Leonard's probably not going to play. So do you look at trying to get, Paul George here, or do you think that there's too many other pay-up options?
Low-scoring game. Miami's got good defense. You do have Butler. I would imagine Butler guards him. I was surprised to see it's a new development that Kawhi is game time decision. It's like an illness. So
yeah,
I'm surprised if Paul George is pretty low owned. I don't see getting to him. Not against Miami.
Yeah. What about Norman Powell? Do you like him at all if Leonard's out?
No, I swear off of Norman Powell.
Yeah. It's weird because Miami. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, the guy kills me. I mean, he's always. I always get him wrong.
Yeah, Miami. They're a really good defensive team typically, but they've allowed the 4th most fantasy points to small forwards, so that's pretty surprising to me. So that kind of made me look at him a little bit more. But I'm with you. I've had some rough nights with Norman Powell for sure. So that's definitely tricky. I do think that Max Strus is another value play in that same price range that I kind of like on the Miami side. But I had Tyler Hero, but with Butler playing, I'm probably not going to go to him. So
this game is a total pass for me. This is the one that I'm just passing up on. I don't trust it.
Yeah. I may have Powell, I may not. We'll see where my lineups end up. But I think as of this current moment, I do. But there's that Patrick Baldwin play, I think, could be one of those GPP sleeper plays that I really like. So I'm going to take a look at that before I finalize my lineups. Did you have a chance to look at Prizepicks?
I did not. No, sorry about that.
That's okay. I have 2 plays. I've got Luka 61.5. You know, it sounds kind of crazy, but that's like a value for him right now. So I'm going to take the more than on that. As you mentioned, they've been staying close. You know, those games have been staying close to each other, even though you would think that Dallas would blow them out. They just haven't. So I like Luka more than 61.5. And then LaMelo Ball, as I mentioned, the Lakers have allowed the second most fantasy points to point guards. I like him more than 46.5 fantasy score. So those would be my 2 Prizepicks.
I like that.
Any questions in the chat? I haven't even had a chance to look the last couple of minutes.
Let's see, we got Golden State might be playing their cheerleaders soon. That's great. No, not too many questions. Oh, what's my wild big win play? Yeah, I think it's Patrick Baldwin.
Patrick Baldwin
going 8x. Patrick Baldwin.
8x. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's if he's going to get 8x, then I'm definitely going to have to squeeze him in to my lineups for sure. So, yeah, I like that call. I don't really even know who mine would be. I guess. Well, I do like Eubanks, but I think he'll be pretty, you know, if Nurkic is out, I think he'll be pretty high owned. So I guess I don't really have like a super low owned play, but that's all right. So I think unless you can think of anything else, that'll do it. I know it was real quick, about 25 minutes like we were shooting for. So
right. Awesome.
Hope everybody has a great night tonight. Let's absolutely crush it. We will be posting our lineups in 15 minutes. So hope you guys have a great night. We'll be back again tomorrow when we look to crush it in the NBA DFS and Prizepicks. Thank you.